So, hello, good evening, and welcome to OTL Season 5. It is round 14, and tonight the guys head to the Circuit of the Americas, USA, down in Hartley, Texas, of course, the race we seen just yesterday in Real F1, so let's hope we can replicate something just as entertaining for you this evening as we get underway just any moment now. Just waiting on the potato and Skarma selecting their tyres. Let's get the chat and see what's what. Good evening, Skarma. I hope you are well. What we should do actually is get a look at the standings and see who is where and where is what and what is when. Because of course, that is what matters. So Nelly leads the way in the championship. He has now a 41-point gap to ENTXJ. ENTXJ and Rob Will split only by 2 points, 198 and 192, second and third in the championship. Then we get Chubby Slug only 6 points behind in 186. Then Matty in 5th and 172. And then Pelly in 6th and 170. Kristaps P7, 165. Nadeem P8 and 160. So very, very competitive in that top end of the grid. Then we get Surge on 146, Shiv on 137, and Skarma also tied on that. Dixie, who is away till the end of the season, so he won't be in the stands. I don't think Connor nor Max. So it's Nude Potato next on 77, a little bit of a gap. Then we get Mika Lando on 76, Leon Evans on 71, Ryan Sam on 65, Leighton on 63, tied with Mr. Rage on 63. Of course, the two no assist boys. It's the only reason to get to race here. Then we not got Pedro. Next not here. And I think that's about it. Constructors, 6 points gap. Oh, there's 20 points separating the top 3 and 50 points separating the top 4, so it's all close. Alfa Romeo lead the way in 366, closely followed by Alpine on 360. Then we have Alpha Tauri in P3 on 346 and Mercedes P4 on 316 as I look up to see some miserable weather in qualifying, which is never ever ideal for the guys, so that will make them feel nevertheless not so happy. Then we have Mercedes in P4 and the Constructors in 316, then McLaren in P5 and 308, then Red Bull P6 and 303, Ferrari P7 on 281, Aston Martin P8 on 264, Haas P9 on 180, and Williams P10 on 115 points. Favourite going into tonight, I feel, on raw pace has to be Nelly. I think it's going to be Nelly. Nelly was looking very competitive on the leaderboards. That, of course, could be wrong. 17 on track this evening, which is very, very nice to see. Indeed. So, who is leading the way? I think it's Surge. On what looks intermediate compound tyres. Yes, it is. Let's actually get some of that. Another tyres there. There we go. Let's get some tyre telemetry on the screen. Of course, every driver will be on the same tyre anyway, so it really doesn't make a difference. And I don't think we are going to see any change in the weather over the next 16 minutes. So I think it's going to be until running for the full session. So we could see drivers maybe doing 2 laps. You may still burn the energy here because the big straights use it up. You may have to do a lap and then a charge lap and then a push lap again. And then of course setup dependent. If you're on a dry setup for USA, it's going to be very slippy indeed. Wet setup, of course, if you're going for pole position, it can leave you a bit hampered. A wet setup's always going to seed you well in the first and last sector here, but you're a bit of a sitting duck down that back straight. So Surge gets us underway for the first hot lap of the day. I'd love to say I would talk you through the lap, but changing conditions. Never easy to tell exactly where people are going to take their braking zones. Especially in the first runs, people will just be finding their way through the lap, I would think. As there are a few drivers now out on laps. And a whole gaggle of cars coming into the first sector now. I think that's Leighton, Nelly, I think we have extremist in there as well. And Ocean or Leon, it could be Leon actually, I think he was behind. Or no, it's Leon and Ocean all in there. And we've got two cars pretty close behind each other. Nelly's invalidated his lap early, and we do. Ocean, who's that just up ahead of him? Very interesting to see. Oh, and he picks up an invalidation. And he's going to get out of the way there. Oh, he's got a bit of time, so he'll probably get round the hairpin and then let the Red Bull head on through. Down the back straight, how's Lane getting on? He's invalidated his run. So Sud's going to be the one and only man to get a lap off the first run. A lot of rivals behind, picked up invalidations. Of course, in the intermediate weather, you can turn that energy off and still have plenty to get a lap in. In fact, even on push lap, you've got enough to get 2 laps in. So this gearbox doing some interesting things there. And Sudswell, top the time screen so far, the 150.2, we've got Leon Evans a couple of corners from home. That's a McLaren, that could be Shiv or Rob Wills, about a bank of lap time, maybe they invalidated. It is Rob Wills, it's a 48.9, puts 1.3 seconds, that was Leon Evans, with a 48.8, takes over Rob by a tenth of a second. Nelly on a 49.3, so he wouldn't have been in pole position. Austin's into the pits, Leighton's on an invalidated run, so one of the next cars I think could be Chubby Slug. Yes, it is indeed. Across the line he goes, it's a 49.1, slots into P3. Mirror's Rage, oh, he misses his brake point just a little bit off the last corner. It's going to be a 49.6, but easily 3 or 4 tenths just in that last corner alone. Had many more times in the lap did they make that mistake. It's Pelly now onto provisional pole. He put 6 tenths on Leon Evans. That's a stunning lap there from Pelly out the blocks. And my God, does that put him in the driving seat? Don't count out others though. ENTXJ, is he on a lap? I think he said a moment in his lap, he's got out it now. And then it's Josh, picks up an invalidation. Just cutting up over the hill too much. Scarma's just opening his lap. Shiv getting out of the way. How will Nude Potato fare? This usually goes pretty well at USA. Oh, as the rear of the car squirms for grip. To Aston Martin's nose to tails. Pelly not far behind, of course he's on an in-lap now. And is Leighton getting a lap clocked ahead? Yes, he is. Traffic going to get well out of the way, that's good to see. And a bit of traffic behind, but he is on a lap, so they need to accept it. That could be second Shaw, she's on an in-lap though, I would imagine. Now he's going to back off a little bit, try and build yourself some space. So Ranger now tops the times 47.9, takes Nelly, who also got onto provisional pole there. I missed that on her second run, 48.0 for Nelly, but Ranger does a 47.9, his Nude Potato now goes to 40.0, and that might just be the track getting better as the session goes on, so it might be a case of pole for whoever goes last in the run. Matty goes up to P5, looking not too bad. A bit further down the order, Leighton picks up an invalidation on his second, could even be his third lap now. Shiv, who is that in the Ferrari, not far behind? Is that Matty, and is he on a lap? No, he's not, he is off his lap, so that won't pose too much of an issue, I don't think, for Shiv. So heads through the first hairpin. He takes Jay now 47.4, half a second gap of 4.5 tenths to Ranger now in P2. And as the lap just or the track getting slightly better as the session goes on, is this what we're seeing? Track evolution? Leighton ahead on an invalidated lap. I think the Aston Martin's on their way in the pits as well. There's an Alpine coming up towards the line. Serenity about to improve his shift there. He has a really strange moment, gets away with that there somehow. Doesn't pick up an invalidation. He slots into P12, 39.5 for Shiv. .29.5 sector 1 time for Leighton, so looking not too bad. Oh, that's the back out again. Guys really struggling to come over that crest of the hill. Coming out the first sector. Or coming into the guts, the middle sector I should say. So let's see if we can pick his braking zone better. At the bottom of the main straight, or the back straight. Gets tucked up much more nicely to the apex. This is looking a much better lap for Leighton here. Don't pick up an invalidation. I think he managed to stay away from the outside line. Couple of corners to go. As you see, rivals mostly heading into the pits now. And Rob Bowles slotted himself up into P2, 47.8, so Rob looking pacey. Leighton does a 50.4. Anybody else on a lap range is invalidated. His one, Leon Evans, showing 3 tenths down. Nelly, he is. Nelly's on a lap, setting up, lighting up the middle sector. Oh, and you see the rear of the car in the wet conditions. One over press of that throttle and it could end badly, but can Nelly put himself back onto pole position or the front row of the grid, or get himself onto it for the first time in the session? One corner to go, squeeze, he's on the throttle and he does. It's a 47.1 from Nelly, also close to the 46s, and the pressure is now on Jay, Rob and Ranger to pick out the lap. The potato just opening his lap. So let's see elsewhere. Shiv showing a tenth down. Chubby Slug's invalidated, so is Surge. How's Skarma getting on? 9 tenths up for Skarma, so Skarma about to go into the 48s. Running pretty close to Shiv here. Skarma with absolutely no energy at this point. Can he get the lap time in? He goes to P3, it's a 47.6 for Paul. Slots into a very, very good position indeed. Good evening all, I hope you are well. Where is Jay? He's not in a lap just yet. Nelly's on an invalidated lap, in fact he's just heading into the pits. Chubby Slug invalidated. What about Pelly? He's just coming through turn 1. So Pelly just opening his lap, maybe he's the man to go to it in the potato he's wearing, so I think it could be. So let's go to Pelly in P10, the man that did put it in pole position through the first runs. And another moment through the rear of the car. Driver's really struggling on power application and qualifying anyway. Who knows what the conditions will be like come the race. We got yellow flag sector 3. The Alpines had a bit of a moment. And Pelly now 7 tenths up, so he's looking to go into the mid 47s. This is on roll for P3 at the moment. How much time has he got in the last sector? Really, the car tries to step away, collects it up nicely though. Squeezes on the power, and then you'll see he'll just feather it as he heads round the long right hander for till last corner 2 to go now. Take a nice apex squeeze on the power. Keep over the curb, open the last corner as much as you dare. Nice use of the apex, gets a very good exit as well, straight up to 50, and it's a 46.3 for Pelly. He finds a monumental amount of time in the last sector and really puts the pressure on the others now, because that is a chunk of time they need. The NTXJ has a moment, he's got time to get another lap in though. And my god, is the pressure on. That was a stunning lap there for Pelly. His last sector must have been insane. I think most drivers on their second last runs at the moment. Then it's Josh may be on a lap, so we'll go on board with the Alpine man. Scammer retired, is that in the pits? I think it might be. So Zenix Josh, 1 corner to go, went in too late. Oh, you never had time to get out, Paul. Ah, I see. That makes sense. So Zenix Josh puts himself up to P14. He's still got another lap in though, as it stands. Pelly's qualifying appears to be over. Matterman is on a charge lap from the run. Nelly showing us a little bit up sector 1. And Nelly looking nice off the top of the hill. It's a very good launch indeed. ENTXJ calls it a day for the session, so it's P5 at best for him. Chubby Slug. When did he go into P2? I've never even seen that. 47.1 for Chubby Slug. But Nelly has the final sector to go. It's a very good second here, pinning these a 10.5 up. It's a PB sector 1. Needs something stellar though in the last sector. I think that's where Pelly's done all the damage. Got to balance the throttle through the long triple right hander. How much throttle do you dare to use? Just feed it in. Early upshifts there, nearly all the way up into 7th gear, just trying to find some grip. There's one corner to go. Can he take back what Pelly Stoley would need? A big chunk of time. To the line he goes now. Can he get it? And he can't. It's a 46.6. Nearly improves massively, but it's not enough. Ranger on an invalidated lap. It's not going to be time for him. What about Rob Wells? Can he improve? He finds 2.5 tenths, but that's only good enough for P7. What about Matty? Shown as 4 tenths up. He could jump, maybe Starman up here if he's a good last couple of corners. Through the last he comes. Can he gain? And he does. He goes into the top 5, so 47.3 for Matty in the end. It's a very good lap indeed. Gives him a great start position. New Potato now shown as 1 second up there, 47.0. New Potato, he's eyeing top 4 in the grid here. Can he keep it nice and tidy through the last couple of corners? Squeeze, he's in the throttle, gets on the power, and can he get it? He goes to P4. That's a great last lap there for New Potato. What about Leighton? Leighton, his session is all over. Shivan Rage into the pits. And that is it for the day. Pelly on pole position by a little under 2.5 tenths of a second. Nelly P2, Leon 3, New Potato 4, Chubby Slug 5, Matty 6, Ranger P7, ENTXJ P8, Extremist P9, and Rob Wills rounds out the top 10. All to play for, of course. Long race ahead. And Pelly's going to be a Chad and go to the line, so people don't need to wait on the pits. And they take the checker flag and pole position at Cotter. A very, very good pole position indeed. So final classification, there it is by just under 2.5 tenths. Nelly P2 seems to be that last sector for Pelly, in my opinion. Then it's Leon P3, a good qualifying for him. Nude Potato P4, Chubby Slug 5, Matty 6, Ranger 7, ENTSJ 8, Extremist 9, and Rob Wells P10. Didn't expect it. You all usually go pretty well in the wet Pelly. I knew you and Nelly would always be close. Nude Potato's usually quite a good run on the wet. Maybe he doesn't enjoy this game. If this was last year, I'd expected to see him there. Chubby Slug is a little bit of a surprise. I felt he would have got a 46 out of the car, but long race ahead. My oh my, am I interested to see? I wonder what the weather will be. Don't tell me, chat, I don't want to know. So, strategies at the ready for all. And I think we may have a formation lap, I'm not sure actually. Rob done the lobby, and I think if it's off his P0 settings, then we will indeed have a formation lap for the race. So, dry weather, which I think will be too much of the pleasure of others, on most. And it's just, first sector's always tricky, opening lap at Cotta, you just got to stay out of trouble. There will be some side by side through the SEC, you just got to be aware of your surroundings at all times. People will come and stick their nose in certain places, and then from there you can start to mount a challenge. It's a long old race. Very, very powerful DRS on, especially in the back straight. So, plenty of opportunity indeed. But to finish first you must finish. So don't take any risks. Losing a position to 2 at the start is not a problem if you feel you've got the pace to get through. Don't worry about it. Mistakes, of course, can come from others later on in the race, which can pay dividends to you. Good evening, Mika. I hope you are well, sir. So I'm happy when you are, chat. Somebody's in that race room. On you go and press X, start that timer. Let's get the race underway. Here, oh, I like it. A bit of, oh, who should I be worried about and who can I pull on a bit? Sorry, I shouldn't say that. We're all fierce competitors. I'm going to be very slow on Thursday, because Aston Martin's a bit of a dog in the corners. I expect probably fighting P60, P11 mark. I've been a fight with some strong guys as well, so let's see what it brings. Hope the straight line speed of the Aston can do me well. And there we go, on Ranger, maybe had a big lobby. So it is a formation lap indeed, so row 1 of the USA OTL Grand Prix will be Pelly and Nelly. That ring, it's been the ring of the season for me, Pelly and Nelly. Every time they seem to be close, well it makes sense, every time they're close together they're on track. That was a proper Will Buxton comment, but we'll gloss over that. We've got Leon and Nude Potato, row 2. Chubby Slug and Matty, row 3. Ranger and ENTHJ, row 4. Extremist and Rob, row 5. Skarma and Xenix, row 6. Rage and Shiv, row 7. Surge and Leighton, row 8. And Eason at the back on row 9. Oh, they really struggled here tonight in the wet as well. Chris, good evening Jim, I hope you are well, sir. This fairly goes for a small navigation of the grass. So what's our predictions for Skarma and his absolute astronomical starts? P6 by turn 1? Probably. And I'm getting some crazy audio there as I'm watching Pelly drive slowly. That's quite good. So, Pelly leads us round, he'll tail the pack right up, I'm sure. I think Leighton's had a little bit of a moment. He gets himself back onto the pack of the pack, M20 time. No issues at all. Who's that? Ranger, I think he's maybe having some connection issues. Well, it doesn't bug the start of the lobby, at least it lets Leighton through it. Works the front tyres vigorously. Oh, a little bit of a moment there. Maybe too aggressive from the wheel spinning. Oh, there's Surge had a bit of a moment as well off the last corner. Mistakes were made, they say. So we will watch from the back slot. And who's that in the red build? ENTHJ, ultra aggressive off the start line. As the OTL USA Grand Prix has 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it is lights out and away they go. And it seems to be quite an even start from the front row of the grid. But who's that in the Mercedes and the Ferrari getting a blinder of a start? I think that's Matty's going to come up the inside, and Matty could eye up top 4 off the first corner. In fact, even better, he's going to get that Ferrari up inside the top 3. He'll now go around the long way and Leon Evans. But Pelly gets the start he needs. He's half a second ahead. Matty off track a little bit, so we head downhill through turn 3 for the first time. And I think most drivers are just going to take the S's for the first time single file, which is probably the smartest thing you can do, as they all now filter through. And I think everybody, for one of the first times in a long time, has got through the first lap relatively cleanly. So Extremist on his medium compound tyre, and that's something we didn't actually have a look at. I should have looked. What is the tyre situation? And there we go, there's exactly why Matty gets such a good start. He's opted for that soft compound tyre. Has he predicted an early safety car? And it has not came. Of course, it's still early in the lap, so we have Chubby Slug and ENTSJ doing battle. ENTSJ starting to make gains on his hard compound tyre. He is a very, very fast man. On the hard, it's probably his strongest race tyre. Is Matty now on the soft, gets himself up to P2, and I don't think Perry's going to be able to do much either, because that soft tyre is just absolutely in a window. Hopefully he's not burning too much energy as Extremist and Leon now do a bit of racing, and Extremist making his mediums work well. He's got himself up into the top 4 as ENTSJ now looks for the better exit off the technical start of Sector 3, but unable to make any impact. He's followed closely by Chubby Slug. Then we've got Skarma in behind. He's made good gains. In fact, let's just have a look at who's gained where at the start of the race. Extremist up 5, get ENTSJ up a couple, Skarma's gained 3, and Josh up 2, and Oysen gains 5. Ranger fell down a few positions. We get Shiv and Surge managed to stay where they are, and Rage and Leighton down at the back of the pack. They'll be getting their eye and watch their pace come as they settle down into the race, running no assists of course. It's one of the only league races that they do it, so it'll take them a minute just to get up to pace, but once they do, I expect a natural form of pace to come from they two, and then really start to attack the pack on the way through. So, a top 7, top 8 in fact, all in a DRS zone. In fact, top 9, 10, 12. Don't know why my timing screens are saying this, but practically at the full pack here, all in a DRS zone. Lap 2 of the race. No spinners. Surge had to take an early pit stop. I wonder if he maybe picked up some damage into the back of somebody's. Leon and ENTSJ now do battle. ENTSJ try and look for the exit. His Chubby Slug comes now to get involved as they charge on down the back straight for the second time of the evening. Leon will defend that line off, but I don't think Mattleman is close enough to make any moves. And then who's that further back? Is that Rob Wills? Having a look at Nude Potato. He also fell down 6 places at the start. Not quite sure what happened to Con, but Matty not as yet able to make much of an impact on lifespan. I'm unsure honestly, because it's the guys are race, we don't really use it. And this is why I enjoy watching OTL, because OTL is somewhere where it can genuinely work. Because we've got a spinner. Who's that? It's Shiv falling down the order. He's had a bit of a moment as Extremist sets the fastest lap of the race, but he's been close to chased by Nelly as Rage picks up the first time penalty of the grid so far. I think Leighton has also had a moment further down the order. I predict probably, Chris, if I could go on a guesstimation, 7 to 9 laps maximum. But even then, I think you're going to be struggling by 5. And now Oysen has had a moment, he's fell down the other. Rage will get up behind him. I think he's got going again. We need to be careful of Shiv coming through in the McLaren as well, as Pelly now starts to get the foot down and is dropping away Matty. But Matty somehow, I think, maybe, just maybe managed to drag himself up into that DRS zone. Yes, he did, so he gets an energy nice and early. Soft tyre still working. Oysen picks up a time penalty for multiple warm-out, but I don't think he'll be close enough to make any impact of a move at the moment. Oh, and what's going on here? That looked like 3 or 4, 5 cars wide. Further back in the order it is. It's Xenix Josh, Nude Potato, Skarma and Rob Wills are going to be side by side by side by side. In the twos they go, heading into the last sector. Rob Wills on the inside now with Skarma. Him and Rob of course know each other very, very well, and I think Nude Potato gets the job done there, but Xenix Josh going to look to slide down the inside, can't get the move done. Skarma's managed to hold off Rob as well. It's Matty. What's happened to Matty? I think he's had a moment round the long right-hander, and guys, I need to be careful there as he picks up space. He'll come to a fixed car any moment, and luckily he stayed close to just enough, and the rear tyres are gone for Matty. So there you go, absolutely dead in the water. And that looked to be somebody else in the wall as well. I think that's Ranger. He also started the soft compound tyre. He's got some wing damage, of course, wasn't in the car at the start. And onwards he goes, gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits for good measure. And now Nelly chasing Extremist. Extremist on that medium compound. Oh, and Shiv, what's happened to Shiv? Really, the car not seem to be playing ball for most drivers at the moment. Now, do we have some weather coming? There's people running a slightly tailored setup, and this is why they're finding the cars a bit more of a handful. Nelly, not quite close enough, but I think he's happy at the moment. I think this is what we're seeing from most. Just keep your head down and go score some points. Let's give a look again at the tyres. So, Extreme has done what he had to do on the mediums, nice and early, gain ground. That he did. Now it's a question of how long can he hold off Nelly. Then it's Josh and Nude Potato, and Nude Potato doing a little bit of Sebastian Vettel round the outside at 16. And through he goes. Oh, and there's been contact further back. Has people been able to avoid it? I think they may have. Was that... what happened with Skarma? He's got Mr. Rage now coming through. Go get up, Skarma. That was Rage saying sorry, Paul. Get after him. So further up the order, Nelly. Still 6/10 of a second gap. This little battle here for P4 though, ENTSA, Leon and Chubby Slug, very, very close indeed. Pretty even in energy. Oh, and Matman, do you see what? That curb just unsettled the car. You heard him touch it. There's latence at the moment at the top of the hill. So Leon really starting to stalk Jay. But Jay is more than accustomed to pressure. And what's happening to Pelly up front? It's just losing a little bit of lap time. Had a bit of a moment somewhere. The gap's down. It was under a second for a minute as Extremist and Nelly Tree blows the fastest lap. They're pushing each other along, trying to now close the distance to Pelly out front. And Extremist... is he pushing, risking too much? Over pushing the tyres? It's maybe not the time to do it, but then if you've got a sniff of DRS, you know how much that pulls you along in lap time. It's about 6/10 of a second if you have all DRS zones at USA, so that helps drastically when you've got like a half-second drop-off on the tyre. But I think this could be the lap when Nelly gets through. Because Extremist looking a little bit vulnerable off the hairpin, at least he's left the session. It's maybe a lag out, and here comes Nelly. He's going to go into P2 in the session. I don't think there'll be much the Extremist can do about this one. Through he goes under DRS, or maybe not through entirely on the inside line. I think he will get the job done. Although Extremist not going to let go, and this is the joy of USA. He'll get the car back ahead as they head now into the technical part of the circuit, and Extremist is going to keep that Alpine on the inside. They're still wheel to wheel, and somehow fends Nelly off, and he will retain that second position for this lap around. And of course, indeed, this is not helping Nelly's pursuit of Pelly, and very much helping Pelly open that gap that he lost at some point, I think in lap 5. So big advantage now to Pelly, gap out to 1.6 seconds. Oh, and Chubby Slug here, look at the exit he's got in Leon, and here we go, going to do a bit of racing down the hill. Matterman just needs to keep his car in a position where it off-sights Leon. He's going to go for it down the inside. Leon will leave plenty of space, as does Matterman, and he gets the exit. Now it's a drag race down the back straight, but Matterman's got the DRS and Leon has none, and I think there is not much he can do now. Matterman will be well ahead into the hairpin at the bottom of the straight, and Leon down to P6, Matterman up to P5, and look at Extremist and Nelly again doing some battle. We missed that because we're too busy watching the Matterman Leon Evans battle, but Nelly eventually got the job done, and he is now through on Extremist, who of course is on that medium compound tyre. And Nelly, can he now hunt down Pelly in P1? Oh, excuse me chat, gap 3.2 seconds. And we'll watch that, we'll have a come back and check that at the end of lap 8. What's happening further down the order? Hang on, who's that? An early pit stop. Oh, Rob Wells has got no wing. Oh, don't get speed in the pits. I think he got away with that one there just. Lucky, lucky boy. Mr. Ray's really starting to get the car hooked up. Looking nice and tidy indeed. He's got himself up to that P7 fight. Very much came alive. Extremist holding on to the back of Nelly. This is very interesting indeed. I did not expect that. And all the while, look who's starting to close the distance. Chubby Slug, ENTXG, Leon, they're slowly but surely bringing himself back into this podium fight. Leighton has had a day on the no assist. He came in blind. I have big respect for him coming in with absolutely no practice at all. And he persevered and persevered. Good effort, Leighton. On to the next one, sir. It will come in time. So, is this the lap where Extremist loses the DRS to Nelly? I think it could be. So Extremist tyres start only a tenth off his PB, so they're not massively dead, but they certainly won't be at their best. ENTXJ, if he pushes just a little bit, in fact I think he has just sneaked a little bit of DRS in the back straight, so it's game on. Matterman's going to have to push a bit as well, because if he wants to be a part of that fight, he cannot let Jay scarper away under that DRS. Then it's Josh going to send one down the inside, and Nude Potato's going to defend that inside line, and defends nicely indeed. Zenix unable to put the car up the inside, got to be careful there in the rear traction. It's nice and brave throttle balance there. And Nude Potato, the wily old fox, he knows how to defend fairly. And now Extremist on the medium compound tyre into the pit, so 10 laps on the medium compound. Hard tyre bolted on, and that will be into the end of the race. He will come out just behind the Nude Potato Josh and Rage battle. Rob Wills now with the fastest lap of the race. claiming himself back up the order a little bit on his soft compound tyre. Of course he'll have to take another pit stop, but there's still a few drivers on the grid to take a pit stop, so Rob Wells' recovery looking tasty. And just as I say that, he picks up a time penalty. Sorry, Rob. So Rage not quite get energy to get the job done on Zenit. Zenit's not quite close enough to Noob Potato. But Rob Wells is very much close enough to get the job done in Matty. In fact, he's already starting to pull out. Matty's going to use the energy, but Rob's just going to, he's not even bothering, or he's going to use a bit now. He was hoping the DRS was going to drag him along, but Matty got some good straight line speed in the car. Just had to use a little bit, just to help him get pushed on through to make sure he was ahead for that braking zone. But through he goes, Mr. Rage and Zenix Josh now doing a bit of fighting. Rage nearly dropping the rear of the car. Nice and generous throttle application. And Rage means business. Here he goes on the DRS. We're going to see a move up into turn 1. DRS flap wide open on the brakes. Zenix Josh is going to try and hold it round the outside, and he'll look for a cutback, a little bit of contact, and they're going to be side by side as they head down the hill. So they'll need to be careful here. And will Rage be able to get ahead? There's a small bit of wheel banging, and somebody's going to have to back out it. And I think Zenix Josh does in the end, although, oh, he's got to be careful there, just unsighted a little bit. Lap 11 of 28 gone by. Front of the race has really opened up. It's only really Chubby Slug that could close any form of gap, I think, between the top runners at the moment. Leon Evans doing okay. They're in P5. Penalties all around them as well, so that P5 looks like a very good day in the office indeed. Now we get Rob Wells on Skarma. Here we go, we're going involved with the McLaren man yet again. To the racing line he goes. Skarma not going to defend too hard there, you know. Rob at the moment's on a better tyre. Maybe better just to go with him on that long medium and steal a bit of lap time via the DRS. Oh, excuse me, chat. I do apologise. Oh. Oh, two Ferraris. Oh, the sympathy spun for each other. Oh no. Skarma into the pits. Matty's going to continue on. No, they both done it at the same time. Ranger has managed to get back in the car. Zenix Josh pit. Oh, as we get on board the Rage, he's had a moment. Up over the hill, well ahead of all our cars. Still in P8 though. He just needs to settle himself back down now, and here we go. Chubby Slug has indeed closed that gap to Jay. Going to get a little bit of entertaining at the front of the field. So half a second the gap. I think Mataman going to use this DRS one just to keep himself in touch. It's all about staying close through the S's and then getting the run down the hill. Be good in the brakes and then mount your challenge down that back straight. And Jason's really struggling. The understeer, no front end in the car at all. the 13 laps in, and here we go, Matterman now 3/10 away. Just get the exit, squeeze the throttle in, and he'll be more than close enough. He'll use a bit of energy, although ENTSG is defending. So I think Matterman will just have to stay in P4 for now. Oh no, who's that? Is that Rob? Yes it is. Rob Bowles having a moment in his soft. Ranger picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, and Jay and Chubby Slug, just as I say that, doing a bit of wheel-to-wheel action. Jay though, defending off from Chubby Slug. It's now, I think, Shiv is maybe at the moment. And the S's, well, that could just be Rob and his cooked tyres. Yes, it is indeed. Oh, Matterman nearly has a big moment there. And that may give Jay the distance he needs. Matterman not going to take any risks. Maybe living to fight another day. Ranger DNF that's in the pit lane. I thought that might have been a safety car. My oh my, would that make it entertaining? So this is the battle at the moment. Who's that having a moment further back? Oh, I think that's Rangers AI just coming out the pits. This is the fight. Matterman not quite close enough for the run to turn 1 there to make a move. This is the next Josh, which is a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And no safety cars in sight. Over halfway in the race now. 15 laps down. Medium tyres will be getting ready for a pit stop. They probably just got the call from Mark to say that pit stop is nearly upon us. And Nelly now very much on the back of Pelly. Game on for the lead of the race in this. Nelly's quite methodical. And they're now very much pushing each other on. Nelly keeping himself in that DRS range. And what will we see from the two up top? Oh, it's Chubby Slug gets through finally on ENTSG further back. Just as I seen that gap closing. Chubby Slug now up into the podium position. Of course that time penalty would drop him back down as long as Jay can just stay on the back of him. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. I think that might be Shiv now having a moment. McLaren having a day to forget. Of course, as long as you're on that lead lap, safety car probability, you've always got a chance. And if you go a lap down, you just need to extend the distance. Surge picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. The gap in the lead, 9/10 of a second. ESG keeping himself on the back of Matt, only 6/10. Jay is going to be able to hang on. He's got some serious straight line speed in that car. So let's see how much he gains here. There's Rob, still another moment on his medium compound tyre. And look at the gear and speed that ENTSG is absolutely insane as he dives down the inside at the bottom of the back straight. And again gets bagged through, and Mataman, this battle continues on. It's for that last spot on the podium. And a good bit of racing about Mataman with the downforce. He's going to try and go around the long way. ENTSG fair and square, gives space now. Mataman will have the inside line as he sweep down. ENTSG will need to open the line and focus on the exit now. He'll try and get the nose of that Red Bull back up the inside. But Mataman gets through this time around as ENTSG has a bit of a snap oversteer moment. And that could be just exactly what Mataman needs. As Pelly heads into the pits, as does Nelly, for a fresh set of medium compound tyres. Chubby Slug and ENTSG both go on for another lap. So I'll keep up this battle chat. Bear with me 1 second. So I'm back, Chubby Slug, and the lead of the race, of course, Pelly and Nelly both onto that fresh medium compound tyre. I think we'll see Chubby Slug and ENTSG head in this lap. But I think that undercut proving to be very, very powerful indeed. Ooh, so you try to trim it out to have a go at people in the straight, Shiv, but just wouldn't cope at all. That's unfortunate, man. Hate to see McLaren not do well. So Chubby Slug out on the medium compound tyre. He will slot down to P4, ENTSG P5. New Potato continued on for another lap. That's interesting. Yes, Shiv, I certainly will. Give me 1 second. The screen will go blue just for a little minute while I get you in the party. Bear with me, I'll be as quick as I can. There we go. Should be on the way, Shiv. I think. If it's not, please say. Should have sent an invite, but here we go, bit of racing. It's the two Aston Martins as Pelly retakes the lead of the race. I don't think Con is going to put up too much of a fight there. It could be a very, very good day indeed for scoring for Aston Martin. So Pelly back in the lead, and how much will we see Con hold up Nelly now to give his teammate a little bit of a buffer? Because I think Con is looking to extend that hard stint. I don't know why he went in the box now, so maybe going to go to 2021 and try and go the soft to the end and get aggressive. Good evening, Shiv. Unfortunately,
good evening, how are you?
Retired, I'm very well. I hope you are doing good.
Yeah, no, good, thank you. Very, very difficult. Yeah, just every time I seem to put my right foot down, I was pointing towards where I just come from.
It's a tough old track in the rear of the car. It's Nelly now who's going to try and to jump in on this. I think he's going to try and slip one up the inside of Nude Potato. They are going to be wheel to wheel. And Con on that 19 lap old tyre or 18 lap old tyre cannot do much at all. So, when was the pit stop for the medium, Shiv? Did you start hard compound tyre?
Started on hard, yeah. So the Pit stop for a hard medium is around 16 was the recommended strategy. The medium would have
so
been
the
around
guys
lap 12,
extended
13.
a bit. That's interesting. I wonder why
It's
they
very odd,
extended.
although there's no back-end grip. The tyre weight isn't that high on the hards. It's very odd.
Ah, so maybe this is why we're seeing the potato extended. Maybe he's looking at the tyre wear and thinking, well, at worst here, I don't think he's going to be caught in P3. He can kind of hold that position down until he goes for a pit stop.
He can put softs on. There's a massive delta with the softs, but they last about 4 or 5 laps.
So if he could get this to maybe 21, that hard compound tyre, before being caught by Extremist, I think he would come out just behind Leon, 5 seconds maybe, behind Leon, and maybe would be able to have a good go at the podium. It may just be there for Con.
I think so. Leon's pace is very good, tucked up there in 7th.
He's been very solid all day. Matoman's starting to go very well in his new medium compound tyre as well, really putting a distance between him and Jay. He, I think, wanted to clear that penalty gap.
Matoman's going to get past Extremist here, is he? Oh.
This is something I noticed
from
Matt
today.
Got a
penalty.
Oh, and that really shapes it up. ENTSJ, that may light a fire in him. P2 could be there for Jay, if he can just find some lap time on the medium compound, although still at the moment falling away. Matt's been very good in the first sector. That's when he's done the damage in drivers and really been able to harness a bit of lap time.
He is pushing Extremist round that first sector.
So, and again,
he's got the hairpin. Oh, that's a lovely move. Very nice.
And I thought he was going to wait there, but Matoman has said,
very, very nice.
No, thank you. Extremist going to try and come back, and look at the straight line speed of the Alpine. Matoman's got DRS, and Extremist is right there beside him. They'll be side by side into the braking zone. Matoman's just got to use the tyre. He will get round the long way. Extremist is fair enough and leaves the space, but I think that will be that in terms of that battle, and Extremist tried to defend it, but in the end I think fighting a losing battle.
I've noticed there's a lot of different setup ideas for this track. So people either go for the full straight line speed, or they'll go high downforce for the first and last sector. So it makes for quite an interesting race.
And it does balance out well in the race. You see the gap open in that first sector, but if that straight line speed can just stay, even 9/10 gap, oh by God, they catch him at the bottom of that back straight.
Nuda's pitted.
Oh, and it is for that soft compound tyre. I think he will be out plentiful ahead of Rage. He's just got some clean air. He's just got to get his head down now. 7 laps to close 9, so it's possible. It is possible.
Absolutely. We've also got a battle brewing between the two old friends of Matty and Serge for 11th and 12th now.
Oh, yes. Oh, yep, Matty on a fresh soft compound tyre.
How long has he been on those tyres?
So Serge 12 laps on the hards, and Matty is fresh on the softs. Brand new set by the looks of it. So I think this will be...
This should be slam dunk, shouldn't it?
Yeah, relatively simple in the end. And the gaps at the front have opened up a little bit. Is Matoman, let me check, is it just a 3-second time penalty? Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it
is.
Nude's so not catching as quickly as I thought he might.
Yeah, it's still over 10 seconds. Maybe tyre warm-up's just been a bit more difficult, although it seems to... the lap time seems to be falling now pretty quickly. 9.7, he's found a second on them just in that last sector.
Great camera for the Matty Surge fight. It was the helicopter camera through the first sector.
I don't know why they don't utilise that camera more in the game. That should be every issue.
Absolutely brilliant, though.
It's the best camera angle, especially when drivers are racing. Look at this ultimate squeeze between Serge and Matty. Matty pushed all over the white line.
Was Matty off the track?
Oh, will he get an illegal overtake there?
Possibly.
Still going to fight on inside, but there's contact. But Matty will get through. and I don't think Surge can do much about it now. Extremist picks up another time penalty up front in that P4 position. He's up to 6 seconds now. Oh, and look at the lead. What's happening here? Half a second between Nelly and Pelly. Where has the 2 second
Theon's
gap
got
gone?
a penalty.
Oh, and Matty does. He gets a 5 second time penalty for cutting and gaining a position. Now, he'll probably look to get that off. He can go to the end and he would get that removed, I would feel, because he was put there. I think he was already beside.
He'll stretch that. I think he'll stretch that gap, if I'm honest. It'll
That
be
is a
immaterial
good
at the
point.
end.
And that's where I feel the game should be a bit more lenient. Like it can notice for the line straight. Matty taking no prisoners. He is not. So if Nelly wants to win this race, he has to go now. Because
Agreed.
he's probably only going to get a few tenths of a lap on Pelly, and he needs every lap to try and build that 3 seconds. Chubby Slug being closed by ENTSG as well, so ENTSG don't write him off for the podium. He's very much
Both
still in
Pelly
this.
and Nelly are low on energy.
Matoman 30%, although 9 seconds away, so. And the Potato, fastest lap of the race, gap down
Here
to
he
Leon,
comes.
6 seconds. So in a couple of laps, he's took 3 seconds out of them. It's just how long can he keep that gain up? That's the problem. Mataman get the gap, 3.5, 3.6, so doing what he needs to do. So, come on Nelly.
Oh, we've
get on
got
the
a yellow
push.
flag.
Yeah, I think
That
that's your
looks like a
teammate Rob.
McLaren. Yeah.
And really the car just not playing ball for neither he used today at all, Shiv.
No, just nothing today.
USA wins are for the week. I don't mean that, chat. Don't be angry. Because I would most certainly take a win on Thursday. Or Wednesday. I don't think that's going to happen. So,
Is Pelly a reserve, Chris?
no, he's full time now.
He's full time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so it's definitely this is for the lead.
Yeah, this is it, and very much championship battle as well. These two. I think there's like 20 points between them.
I get a nosebleed if I look that far up in the title.
Your time will come, sir. I think you're more unfortunate on Mondays, because look, when you have nice steady races, look at the results that come in Sundays. And I'd say now, the Sunday grid, I mean, it's not much dissimilar. Chubby Slug up there, Jay, Matty in better conditions and not having moments would be up there, you know, so I think pace is very even on
I
that
think
side.
on a Sunday in P0 at the moment, there's 10 drivers with a realistic chance of winning the race on any given weekend.
Yep. Which is very entertaining. So I don't think Nelly now has... I don't think there's going to be any time.
To get no.
I think that is him consoled to second. And I think there's got to come a time when you're driving in that high position where you just accept that it's going to be P2 and just then not take risk. It's just a case of getting the car home and make sure you stay out the gap behind, which he's got more than comfortable time.
Just going to see if where Pelly's at on mornings.
Oh, that's a good point. Although, because that would make it very spicy.
He's had one morning on lap 8. Oh, sorry. Pelly's only had one warning, what I can see.
So he is pretty comfortable on that side. I think he'd be quite
I'd
happy
say
to
so.
push. But
If
Nelly...
Nelly wants to push him, he can let him through, I think. He'd cover the 3 seconds.
Oh,
with the,
Mataman, that's it. His podium is over. He picks up another 3 second time penalty with 3 laps to go. And they would need to put 3 seconds in Jay behind to keep that P3, although it's still P4.
Rage is in danger of being disqualified in this race. We've got a yellow flag at Ferrari.
Oh yes, I think it could be Matty. It was indeed. A lot of guys really struggling at 16. It seems to be a corner where the rear really lets
It's really
go.
odd. But it's not consistent either.
Oh, some laps
So
you've got grip,
one
other
lap,
grips
yeah.
you don't. Oh. Well, that bodes me full of confidence for Wednesday.
My tyre pressures are high, so I'm going to blame that.
Oh, Chubby Slug's round! Sorry, Shiv!
Oh,
He's
no,
round
no,
and he
no.
falls down the order down to P6 with the penalty. And Leon Evans, I think, maybe got a... He did get an illegal overtake there, I think.
That's harsh.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
unfortunate.
that's harsh. There's a proper scrap here, though.
Yeah, game on. Nude Potato and he sauce with a couple of laps to go. Has he got damage?
Must have damage.
Fastest lap, of course, can still be taken from that, which I think he will do more than comfortably. And now Nude Potato fancies a top 5 finish. Oh, and it's a big move up the inside and Leon. They nearly touch wheels and Leon gives just enough space to head downhill through turn 2 side by side. Is Nude Potato going to get the job done? And I think Leon is going to have...
Oh, that was brilliant driving from the pair of them.
And well, yeah, that was near the nose right off, I think.
Yeah,
very
that was
good
nearly an aeroplane
awareness.
crash.
And Nude Potato up to P5 and oh, penalties here. I think, is there a P4? Oh, there is. P4 is on here for Nude Potato. A very good recovery. Needs 0.8 of a second on Extremist, and he would, of course, gain on the penalties. So that'll be one to watch.
Nude's D-rating currently. Absolutely nothing left.
Nelly stalking Pelling out, 0.2 of a second gap. And just go for it. Who cares about the penalty? Give us some action, Nelly. Come on.
Turn 1 is that wide. You can place your car anywhere. Just have a go.
Yep, we seen, who was it? Who made the move there? Big move up the inside at 1. Oh, it was Nude Potato. And from pretty far back as well, so you can get the job done.
Nude took a second out of Extremist in about half a lap.
I think he's good for P4. It's quite good result, I think he'd be happy.
Surge is on the back of Rob Hills now as well.
Where did Mataman come out? On the back of Zenix Josh. So still going to get a top 10 finish, although P4 unfortunately slips away from him. It seems there's a big oversteer moment. I think the Potato well within that gap now. Yes, he is, 2.4 seconds.
Oh,
Anyway.
contact.
Oh, is that between Surge and Rob?
Yeah, Surge just made his way through there. I think Rob on those tyres had no defence. Scammer pits on the last lap. Why's he done that?
Oh yeah, maybe a fastest lap attempt here. He will get 2 in.
Yeah, he will get 2,
yeah.
I got the maths. Yeah, he will get 2, wouldn't he? He obviously had a free stop. Or
Yeah,
he's
so
top
why
board and
not?
just wanted to see some other people.
Here comes Chubby Slug back through, and Zenix Josh gets himself up to P8. Nice and simple DRS move down the back straight. And Matty takes the fastest lap to 35.7 in that new
It's going
soft
to be quite
compound
the
tyre.
battle here for fastest lap.
No, it's going to give us some entertainment. Very last lap. It's Pelly and Nelly head downhill through turn 1 for the very last time.
Pelly's managed this well, hasn't he?
Yeah, the gap's never really exploded. He's always been under pressure. I think just done what he had to do. Keep his nerve. I think, see when you keep the warnings down, once you're not picking up warnings, I think consistent.
Oh, here we go. Pelly 3-second penalty.
Oh my, on the very last lap. Nelly
So Nelly
will
will
see
have seen
this.
that.
He has to go for it. He has to push.
Oh, who's round? was a Ferrari round.
Oh, I don't see that Skarma. No, I don't think
No,
it
it's
is.
not. No, it was Matty.
And I don't think Nelly can do
Pelly's
anything.
got
No, Pelly,
DRS.
he got
Pelly
DRS
had
from the
DRS.
back marker. Your teammate robbing us of a front row battle.
Pelly had DRS.
Yeah, Rob's entitled to be there. See blue flags, which I'm still picks up another team penalty for multiple warnings, but I think it's going to be Pelly's day, even with the penalty in the closing laps. He's got one corner to go. As Shiv says, managed the pressure very well, and he will indeed win in USA. Nelly comes home for a solid P2, and it's a penaltyless P3 for Ian TSJ, one of the only few in the grid not to pick up any time penalties. What could have been with the battle between himself and Matt? Who's that? Binned it off the last corner. I think that was Matty. Putting in the wall. Extremist will come home P4, but I think Noob Potato will get him. If penalties in the end, yes, he does a very good recovery to P4 for Noob Potato. 5th for Extremist. A solid P6 for Leon. Rage with no assists. Getting a P7 finish. I think he'll be very happy with that, although I think the penalties could change that a little bit. Will Matterman get himself into the top 7? He will jump Rage. So not too bad for Matt. Only 3 positions lost off the spin and a pit stop. Don't think he could do disheartened by that.
Is Skarma going to get this fastest lap?
That's what I've just went on board to see. Picks up a time penny, but I don't think he'll care. Maybe that little extra track limit will gain you that fastest lap. Oh, he's going to be close to it, and he doesn't quite get it. It was a 35.8, I think, a couple of tenths away. And it'll be P10 for Skarma. Subs, the last to take the checkered flag. It will be P11. Oh, has he got some broken wing there? He's looking very understeer off the last corner. And Subs does indeed finish P11. A good little race. Not as overtaking maybe at the front as we would have liked, but Pelly coped well with pressure, driver of the day for ENTXJ. I think well deserved too. But yeah, a good day for Pelly.
Absolutely.
He will close the distance in Nelly in that championship, and that's all he has to do. He just needs to keep beating Nelly in that, and bring him into the championship fight.
That's impressive by Jay, the only driver not to get a time penalty.
Not an easy feat at America either. Especially that first sector. The corners come at you relentlessly, and if you miss your steering by an inch, it can be enough for you drifting offline and off track. So let's get Nelly Pelly. No worries, Shiv. Thank you for joining me for the end of the race. Always a pleasure. And I will see you very soon. Nelly Pelly. That's Pelly. Where's Pelly? There we go. Thank you for joining us, Jim. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. So Jay joins. We'll just wait for the others, Jay.
Yep, no worries.
Hopefully they're not too long. There we go. So, good evening all. Pelly, we will start with yourself. A race of... managed well in the first stint. The second half of both of your stints, the pressure kind of ramped up from Nelly, but I think you always did enough in hand to just do what you had to do, especially off the first sector, to keep the distance under that DRS zone to get the job done. A good qualifying, a good race win, and you close the distance in the championship to Nelly in P1. You must be happy.
I'm happy for sure, but it was so difficult, you know. I thought of it point 4 of you because I thought that would maybe will be a safety car. Well, that wasn't in the end. So after before my pit stop, I realized if there won't be a safety car, I'm gonna run out of fuel. So after my pit stop, I pushed like 2 laps, and then I just drop my pace and like save fuel where I could. And it was so like difficult with Nelly getting in with the DRS. And if I'm right, like his time trial he was using 50-35, I think. So he was, and I was like using less wind. So if I knew I could get a good run, I'm safe. And then I can save fuel where I can. But yeah, man, that's so fucking hard. I was also scared, like last lap I can penalty, that's shit that I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you there when you picked up that penalty in the closing laps. Of course, the gap was maybe a little bit out, but did it make you worry just a little bit?
Yeah, of course, yeah. You never know, maybe he's gonna get his penalty removed or whatever, you know. You don't know what circumstance there's gonna be in. Like, it was like difficult because I got the 2 warnings within 6 laps, so that was also like tricky to manage to not get any warnings after. But yeah, in the end, man, I'm like knackered, and I want to dedicate this win to my father because, like, I don't know, you guys don't know, but my father passed away 2 months ago. And like this is the first win I got after, so I want to dedicate this win to him.
Ah, very nice indeed. I'm sure he will be very proud of that performance under relentless pressure, Mr. Pelly.
Yeah, thank you.
So, good job on the win. We will head on to Mr. Nelly, the podium bandit of the season. You're really racking them in. It's good to see you back in the fold, Nelly.
Yeah, it's 3 in a row now. Just picking up the goals like I don't pick up women. But hearing that, Pelly, we had exactly the same race, specifically, like for real. I was on point. That was one I need to get my practice in more. But I didn't do race practice, so I didn't know you overconsume here. So I was short. I don't know if you saw, Chris. I was short shifting. I was lifting and coasting.
Yeah.
Did you notice? Yeah, 90% of the race. So, the one mistake I made, I know I had that penalty, but I knew I was definitely the fastest guy today, but I knew I couldn't. In quali, I put my everyone's top wing was 50, I presume, but my rear wing I put it up from 37 to 42, I think. But I forgot you can't change the rear wing back down. So it was like Spain on the straights, but so. Even when I tried to overtake Pelly on my lap 24, I burned all my DRS and I was like 2/10 behind him coming out of the straight, but I just couldn't get past him. It was jarring because I was faster everywhere else, but obviously because I had a higher wing. But even if I had a run, he would have just taken me back in the DRS the next lap. So I played it safe. I got the points. Bit annoying. I didn't know about the fuel, but that's my fault for not practicing properly. But I will take everything today, and one step closer to the double.
That's it.
But I'm never ever gonna sit back because, like, obviously, I think Jay had a struggling race, but he never gave up, and he's still within like 40 of me. So it's gonna be
top 6 within 50 points of each other.
And that win from Pelly
has
been a long time coming, so I think this is the closest season, like in times of multiple drivers still being in it near the end of the championship.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a brilliant. So yeah, shout out to everyone. That was a bloody good race. GG's.
Yeah, very good job, Nelly. I think, as you say, with underfeeling in that one of your more quieter races, but sometimes the quieter ones are just as good. And damage limitation on that championship lead, I think you still keep the gap above 20 points or 30 points, so nevertheless a good day in the office.
Yeah, thank you. The main thing was I finished in front of Jay and I finished in front of Rob and Matt, so I'd like to see me and Pelly have had some brilliant battles this year. I'd like to see him come up and not fight for P1 but fight for P2. Yeah, so yeah, GG to everyone. Well done everyone.
Jay, on to yourself.
Hello.
Good evening. A Red Bull with some astronomical straight line speed in the car. That was the way you gained on some drivers down the back straight was absolutely disgusting. and how you managed to keep all that collected and not pick up any penalties throughout that race is pretty impressive. A good day and all from where you started in qualifying. I think a podium's still a stellar effort. I think you struggled a bit in the first sector in your hards. Just seem to struggle a bit, especially in like this second half of the S's. There seemed to be, like, especially particularly in your Martelman battle, that seemed to be where he put a lot of lap time on you. But then, even if you get 9/10 up the road, the minute you were on that back straight, you closed that full gap very, very quickly. Happy, Jay?
I think, yeah, relatively happy. I kept messing up my line through the S's, which is why I had such a setup for the straights, because I know I really struggle getting those S's consistent. So I guess I'm happy. I'm pretty annoyed that I keep messing up in quali and putting myself kind of on the back foot. But yeah, I guess I need to just get that sorted. Otherwise, Nelly will just run away with it, I think.
Yeah, because the race pace is there. I think for sure, once you got to kind of that P3 position and Matterman had his moment, the gap never went up. You were very much on pace with Nelly and Pelly ahead. So it would be good. There's gonna be a race where we'll see yourself, Nelly, Pelly all get clean runs in qualifying. And that day we see all 4, 5 or the 5 competing at the top get a good run into turn 1 and a nice clean start. I think it's going to be an OTL classic in the making.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like Nelly said, it's shaping up to be a very close finish, championship-wise. So it'll be pretty exciting to look out for. But yeah, I think I need to make some big improvements if I'm actually gonna have a chance.
But I think just quali. I think if you can get the quali runs in, start getting the good bankers in, and set yourself up well early in the sessions, I think the race pace is there for you to challenge the guys at the front. You've shown that.
Yeah, true.
So, very good job. A solid P3. Keeping yourself in the fold, that's all that matters. Plenty of races still to go. Plenty of opportunity for drivers to drop points. So, who keeps the nerve as we continue on? That will be us for the evil weight driver of the day. Very important. Who will it be? I think it's got to be Jay. From a poor qualifying to a podium finish, and the only driver in the grid to not get any penalties. I think that's worthy of a driver of the day. The game gave it as well. Shout out to Pelly for relentless pressure, but the penalty, Pelly was that close. That last lap penalty.
I did gun it. I did gun it the last half lap when I saw the penalty. I'm not gonna lie.
I was like saying, oh please, Rob, give me DRS.
We got DRS from a bloody ghost.
But anyway, very good job, Pelly and Nelly and Jay and to everybody else. For all the battles throughout seemed very clean and entertaining. Not too much smashing each other up. Bit of wheel banging, but I think it was all aggressive and fair. So that is us for tonight until Wednesday for HR with some more America. We will see you very soon. How do I start this again? Oh, there we go.